Temperatures in the 50s today. Now it's back to wintertime tonight with a band of some light accumulating snows. We'll talk about how much sticks where you live just ahead.
It's got to start all over, you know. I mean, I'm a long way from home.
A large fire destroys part of a building at the Thoroughbred Center in Lexington. Hear from a man who lost his home inside the building.
A woman reported missing in Texas months ago has been found in Lexington. Why she's now been arrested.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 6.
Good evening. The milder air in the bluegrass right now will not be around much longer. We're talking maybe just a few hours. Get ready for a big temperature drop later tonight.
Yeah, it's coming, and another round of light snow could cause some slick roads by tomorrow morning. We begin tonight with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey. He shows us what he's tracking on the First Alert Defender. Good evening, Chris.
Hey, good evening, Amber. Good evening, Sam. A big temperature drop is on the way, and it is coming in from northwest to southeast. Right behind a cold front, those temperatures are dropping very quickly. That front, by the way, is now hitting parts of the bluegrass state, dropping it into the 40s into most areas now. 47 Lexington, 44 into Covington. Look how quickly, though, we go into the upper 20s and low 30s behind that boundary from Indianapolis down toward Bloomington. 16, by the way, windy city of Chicago. And that front, again, is continuing to work toward the southeast. Winter weather advisory is out for the counties that are shaded in the blue. That'll take us through the overnight. Does that mean that counties south of that or north of that won't see snow? Absolutely not. This is basically a coating to 1 inch for the entire region coming up tonight. Maybe a locally higher amount thrown in there for good measure. Live First Alert Defender, not a whole lot locally. That'll change, though, as the evening wears on, as this thin band of snow continues to slowly work its way toward the south and southeast. So the cold front slams through here this evening. Gusty band of some light snows coming in behind that. Less than an inch for many folks across the area. Somebody may top out a little better than an inch, though. Slick travel will develop from that no matter whatever falls, because temperatures will continue to drop into the teens. Coming up, guys, we'll put a track on this quick blast of wintertime air with your hour-by-hour forecast. We'll time those snows into where you live coming up.
Lexington road crews say they'll be ready for any snow that falls. Workers with the Division of Streets and Roads are already pre-treating priority roads, bridges, and overpasses with salt brine. They say they actually began doing that about 2 days ago. They say salt brine is an effective way to treat roads, and they say it saves some money. But city leaders also say Lexington has plenty of salt on hand as well.
As you can see behind us, the salt barn's full. We actually have more on contract that we can take delivery of. The weather we're expected to get tonight, we're not going to use a whole lot of salt there.
Lexington's night road crews will arrive early tonight, about 8 o'clock, to cover any slick roads. City leaders say more road crews will come in then at midnight. And for all the latest closings, delays, and weather information, just go to our website, WKYT.com. The smoke could be seen for miles. Dozens of firefighters battled a massive fire that ripped through part of the Thoroughbred Center off Paris Pike in Lexington this morning.
That fire destroyed part of a building that houses some equipment and an apartment. As you can see in this video, Officer Don shot from Sky First. The fire caused extensive damage. Firefighters just told us the preliminary cause of the fire is a candle left burning inside the building. Sean Moody has our top story at 6.
The fire started shortly after 8 o'clock this morning and was quickly upgraded to a second alarm. The high winds helped the flames rush through the building even faster. It destroyed a tack shop, a leather shop, and the apartment David Mossad lives in.
You know, I could just see flames coming up the roof, you know, coming up the top, and the roof is caving in.
He had just moved here from California for jockey training.
Just got to start all over, you know. I mean, I'm a long way from home, so, I mean, I just got to, you know, be an adult about it and just move forward.
There were between 50 and 60 firefighters trying to get these flames out. They had so many of them out here that crews across Lexington had to shift so they could still cover the city.
We've done what we call move-ups. We've moved trucks to different areas so we could give sufficient coverage for the rest of the city, because we're not going to leave the rest of the city vulnerable.
The main building wasn't damaged. Workers weren't sure what would happen to the tack shop building. In Lexington, Sean Moody, WKYT.
A woman did receive treatment at the scene for smoke inhalation, and a firefighter went to the hospital for the same thing. No horses were in the fire area. Friends of the people who lived inside started a GoFundMe account. You can find a link on our website.
For the first time, Coach Mark Stoops is talking publicly about a fight reportedly involving several UK football players. Jennifer Palumbo is at the live desk with the coach's comments earlier today. Jennifer?
Amber, today Mark Stoops confirmed 3 players being questioned about a bar fight in Richmond a week and a half ago. But we are still not naming the players because no one has been charged. Richmond police are investigating the early morning fight at Jersey's Lounge and Dance Club on Sunday, January 25th. They say a man reported 3 or 4 men grabbed him and hit him in the head, causing him to lose consciousness. Family members identified the injured man as EKU football player Colton Scurry. On Kentucky Sports Radio today, Matt Jones asked Coach Mark Stoops about the incident.
Those are good kids. I know more about the situation and about them than most people, and it's easy for people to just judge them on what comes out initially in the media and everything else. You know, whatever the outcome is, were they wrong in certain aspects? Absolutely. You know, and we're not afraid to address kids when they're wrong. You know, I've always said that. You know, I accept responsibility, wins and losses, and I accept responsibility when guys are not acting appropriately off the field.
When asked if he still believes in the players being questioned about the incident, Mark Stoops said he did, and if he didn't, they wouldn't be here. At the live desk, Jennifer Palumbo, WKYT.
Jennifer, thank you. Today, Richmond police told us they are still interviewing witnesses, and it could be a long process because they're trying to track down every person who was in the bar at the time of that fight.
The search for a missing Texas woman took a strange twist today here in central Kentucky. Police in Kilgore, Texas, reported Christina Davison missing months ago and even presumed her to be dead. But now Davison has been found alive in Lexington, and she's facing charges. Jordan Valines is tracking this unusual investigation. Jordan's live now from the Fayette County Detention Center with the latest. Jordan?
That's right. In May of last year, Christina Davison went missing out of Texas, and many believed that she was dead. But just last night, she was pulled over by Lexington police and arrested. Now, Davison was arrested on an outstanding warrant out of Texas and booked here at the Fayette County Detention Center. For the past 8 months, police say Davison has been living and working in Lexington. This afternoon, we spoke with employees at Red State Barbecue, which is where Davison was working as a waitress for the past 8 months since she disappeared. The owner said Davison told him that she moved from Arkansas in order to escape an abusive relationship, and he said he never suspected that her backstory was a lie.
Everything that we were learning now is, you know, it's just absolutely amazing. You never know the people that are close to you or who you're working with.
Now, Davidson's ex-husband, Craig, has been considered a suspect in her disappearance. Live in Lexington, Jordan Valines, WKYT.
Police say Davison will be sent back to Texas, but they're not sure when that will happen.
Tonight, we are learning more about the case against a couple arrested after police say they found their infant alone outside a home. As we first told you last night at 11, state police charged Carlin Engelbrecht and Jesse Stacy with wanton endangerment. Police say the baby was alone in a Rowan County driveway. Victor Puente talked to the woman who found the baby.
Trying to figure out what it was, and then something inside me was just, I gotta go check. I have to go see what is underneath that blanket.
Caitlin Horton works third shift and says she's normally asleep by noon, but yesterday something kept her up. When she went to check her mail, she was glad she was, seeing a baby carrier covered by a blanket in her neighbor's driveway.
Pull back the blanket, and a baby, just a little baby just was looking up at me. He wasn't crying.
She called the police, who brought paramedics to check out the 6-week-old boy. He was taken to the hospital. Horton says after police left, another car pulled into her neighbor's driveway. She went to talk to them, and a woman handed her the phone. She says the child's mother, 21-year-old Jessie Stacy, asked if she had the baby. She told her the child had been taken by police.
She wasn't crying. She didn't seem upset. I was crying.
State police were at the hospital with the child when Stacy and the child's father, 31-year-old Carlin Engelbrecht, arrived.
At that time, that's when they were interviewed by the troopers who are investigating the case, and then they were placed under arrest for wanton endangerment first degree.
Engelbrecht didn't want to go on camera, but he told me it was an accident. He said no one felt worse about it than he did. State police said they believe both parents left in separate vehicles and each thought the other had the child, and they believed it was an accident. That didn't change the charges.
It's just because of the injuries that could happen to the child, because you're talking, had the neighbors not been there, child could have been exposed longer and possibly died from this.
Hopefully, like right now, they may be mad at me, but one day, maybe in the future, they may see that I did and had to do the responsible thing.
In Rowan County, Victor Puente, WKYT.
The infant and the couple's other child are now with Child Services. Engelbrecht says the couple is in the process of getting the children back.
A former caregiver accused of sexually abusing 2 intellectually disabled adults says he's not guilty. 23-year-old Damon Heath was arraigned this morning in Franklin County. Investigators say he admitted abusing the victims multiple times between April of 2013 and last month. Heath used to work for Community Choices Unlimited, which operates facilities in Frankfort that care for intellectually disabled adults. Company leaders say they are cooperating with investigators. Police charged Heath with sexual abuse, sodomy, and knowingly abusing a vulnerable adult. We have an update tonight on the investigation into the death of a Montgomery County woman. The Montgomery County Sheriff's Office is telling us investigators are still interviewing people about Katrina Craver's death, and they hope to have more information in a few days. Police say Craver died last Friday after being found in the middle of Nest Egg Road. Investigators say she had head trauma. The coroner says an autopsy was inconclusive.
Tonight, we are tracking the investigation into a crash that damaged a Lexington home. It happened around 10 this morning on Georgetown Street. Lexington police say a truck had just turned onto the street when it hit the house. They're still investigating what led to the crash. No one was inside the home at the time. Police say the driver was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Tonight, we have learned the Whitley County High School principal has been placed on paid administrative leave. The Whitley County Board of Education says an internal investigation is underway into Principal Alan Sweet, but board members are not saying what sparked the investigation or why Sweet is on paid leave. Sweet has been principal at Whitley County High School since 2009.
Employees at a Lexington Waffle House served up some help today for a dog injured in a fire.
Employees at the Beaumont Center Waffle House donated their tips during lunchtime to Butch, a pit bull mix. Volunteers with the Lexington Pit Crew dog rescue group say that Butch was badly injured in a fire last fall, and they've been raising money for his treatment. Waffle House employees say they saw Butch's story on WKYT and they wanted to help.
I think it's a terrific outcome for what obviously is going to be a great little dog and a happy little fella. That's what we're here for.
Lexington's Pit Crew tells us the Waffle House servers ended up raising $2,000 for Butch's medical care. He does look happy.
A lot of love right there. We have some new information tonight about a new high school being planned for Fayette County. According to our news partners at the Lexington Herald Leader, construction on that new high school along Winchester Road could begin in June. The Kentucky Board of Education has also agreed the district could build the school with more square footage than the state normally allows. The school is scheduled to open in the fall of 2017, and this will be the 6th public high school in Fayette County.